Like, I truly feel for my mom because she's gonna die.
Please go back and watch this creator's video. This video I'm about to make, I'm gonna try to make it without crying or getting overly emotional, but it's about my husband. When I met my husband 25 years ago, 25 plus years ago, I thought that my husband's family was like the perfect family per se. Um or was what we were raised to think was the perfect family. He came from a two-parent household, mom and dad working, well, mom and stepdad working, and all the things that uh the late 90s, early 2000s brought to black families. They lived in a well-to-do area in our city. So I just thought that, oh, okay, they all put together. Now, my husband just turned 44 last week, but my husband, not only did he retire from the military, he retired when he was 40 years old. My husband was in two of the top career fields where they had least African American men. My husband graduated with his master's last year in clinical social work. So in that, he's top three. He's black, he's male, and he's a mental health professional. All the things, has accomplished so much in his life, right? Um, we started with nothing. We started with absolutely nothing, just him and I. I was pregnant. We slept on a couch for I think the first 3 months of our marriage. Like everything we got it together. I I didn't realize until we were married probably 2 years. 2 years, I didn't realize things were off about his family. Um, and I think it's a story time where I realized something was really off with him and his brother when we had our daughter. We go through all the years, right? Drama after drama after drama, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But my husband always struggled with cutting ties with the relationships that he had with them, although they were toxic and they were threatening to our family, right? Um, I would honestly say up until maybe 3 years ago, after my husband retired, I would honestly say that I did not know how deep it was. I did not know how manipulative, how toxic. I wouldn't have never imagined he had been treated the way he had been treated. Um, Thanksgiving of 2022, we sat down with them. We wanted to have a round table with them because my thing was always, if you could have your living parents in your life, please have a relationship with them. I never gave him an ultimatum. I never told him, oh, you should pick sides. I never told him any of that. Never thought about that. That never crossed my mind. But he really struggled with not having a relationship with them. So I'm like, okay, let's go have a sit down with them. I'm so glad our oldest two kids got to go and got to see and got to experience it. But most importantly, it made me realize so many things just by sitting there and listening to what they had to say. When my husband opened his mouth to speak his experiences and to speak his peace, when I tell you his mama denied him everything, everything that man had ever experienced. I saw my husband, and he is perfectly fine with me telling this story. I saw my husband walk in as a grown man and leave that house as a little boy. When I tell you the manipulation, the gaslighting, the deceiving, it all came out. And I said to myself, this man, as amazing as he is, has been through a lot. And it wasn't from someone on the outside. It was from the person who was supposed to love him the most. She denied him all of that. And it clicked. Then she goes to say, I think that we should have a conversation talking about her husband, my husband, his brother, and his sister. Only them. Now, me and my husband been married almost 20 years at this point. She said, well, I think we should just have a discussion without the outsiders. First of all, ma'am, I'm not an outsider. I'm not an outsider. This is my husband. I'm not an outsider. But that was the form of manipulation. You know what I told her? Without a beat, you will not speak to my husband unless I'm there. You will not. You will not. You have done enough damage. No, ma'am. You will not speak to him unless I'm there. You can call whoever you want to. You can tell whoever you want to. But what you won't do is get him and push him into a corner and he not know how to fight back. No, we won't do that. I said no. This it. This is it. We came here, and my kids and our kids and I, we went there. We were moral support for him because we had went no contact with them probably a few years before that. I got tired. I was like, yeah, I'm not putting my kids through that. They're not good for my kids. Like the favoritism. And let me tell you the day that I decided that they would no longer have access to our kids. Our daughter, my husband deployed, and I was home for a funeral, and some of our friends were home, and I wanted to go out for the night, and I asked her, I was like, hey, can you watch the kids while I go out for a couple of hours? She said yes. My daughter called me while I was out and said, Mommy, what time are you coming to get us? But I could tell in her voice she was crying. I said, what's wrong, Princess? She said, nothing. I'm just ready to go. I said, okay. I said, I'm on my way. So I leave to go get her. I get to the house. The boys are in all three of them are in the room together. But the boys are playing the game, and my daughter is in a corner crying. So I flick on the light. The mom is up in the front watching TV. I flick on the light, and I'm like, what's going on? And my daughter's crying, and she's like, Mama, I'm just ready to go. I said, oh, okay, let's go. So I get in the car, and come to find out, our little son jumped up and grabbed like the string to the fan, but she blamed it on my daughter. And when my daughter told her she didn't do it, she called my daughter a liar and was like, you had to do it because he ain't tall enough to do it. Never asked either one of the boys, just automatically assumed it was her. But that's the same stuff that she did with my husband. So after that, they no longer had access to my kids because what you're not finna do is show favoritism, and what you're not finna do is tell my baby she lying. Y'all come back for part 2.